Welcome, and Happy New Year. We are back. It's another week upon us and another year upon us in the market. Hopefully it's a good year for everybody. We'll see what happens, but really nothing different. Same thing. Market is the market. Every trader is still a trader. Of course, you want to practice good habits this year. You got a new balance sheet of your own to take care of, and hopefully in 12 months we'll be sitting here on the stream looking back at a really good year. So yeah, we're gonna get started tonight. I'm gonna give you my thoughts overall for this year in the market. We're gonna talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum. Futures for stocks are very green right now, up about 0.5%. I'm gonna talk about the overall market, the indices, the ETFs. We're going to talk about some large cap stocks, some mid cap stocks, CLOV, Fisker, the ongoing swings. A lot to talk about. If you're a premium member, you already saw the watch list for this week, and yeah, maybe I'll bring up a couple of those on the stream as well, and hopefully we'll have time to do some take requests. So yeah, let's get into it. What's up, the guy today? Mr. 90210, Scrooge, Cheddar Freeze, Plebere, Laidback, Spiderwebs, Justin, Zeke says, Champ, I think I got COVID, bro. I'm really sorry to hear that. Hopefully you get well soon. Vitalik, Forget Stocks, 2022 is going to be the year of crypto. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Eric says vibes. And yeah, we are here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And let's get into it. All right, we got 14 people in here. What's going on with Bitcoin? It's really just going sideways. You've got some hidden bearish divergence developing on the daily, as from the high during this green island, which is all the way up here, to the high of this green island, which is right here. You made a lower high, but on your MACD, you made a higher high, which creates your hidden bearish divergence, which implies a continuation of this short-term downtrend. However, you are finding some support around 45.5K. You bounced off of it twice now. If we go over to the 4-hour, kind of saw it bounce around this 94% retrace, and it made it pretty much perfect 100% retrace, bounced again. So really, you're just in this mini range again between 45.5K and 48K for Bitcoin. If you break above 48, you could run back to test 52. You break below 45 and maybe you test 42, which is this lower wick and a couple lows and highs from the past. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Ethereum, this swing is down about 9%, but now you have triple classic bullish divergence developing, yet another bounce off of the demand line. So hopefully Ethereum can reclaim the resistance at 39.61 before hitting the stop at 35.66. But you can see it's now bounced twice around 3,600, just a little bit below 3,600. So that's Ethereum. OMI is currently testing the breakout of this bump and run, which has been in development since March of 2021. Hidden bearish divergence is developing here as well, just like Bitcoin. So really, you just want to see some nice maybe breakout candle with good volume if you can clear above this, because last 2 times you tested it, you could not. All right, let's move on to the actual stock market. What's going on? Well, futures are up a very nice amount. We could go down to lower time frames. These are your Russell futures. They gapped up over here. NASDAQ futures gapped up over here. They were up a little bit more about an hour ago. Now they're starting to pull back some. So yeah, you were up about 0.5% on S&P, had about a 0.15% pullback. Let's go over to the daily. Let's break down these charts, what I'm seeing in the market from a technical standpoint. Then maybe I'll talk more long term based on my thoughts on where we are. So what happened at the end of last week was very technical. We might have had some people selling for tax losses. But if you watched the end of last week's streams, I was talking about how you were breaking down on lower time frames. I can go back and show you those areas. I'm sure many of you might remember this. I even had a little bit of a put trade on the SPY on Friday, which I did. I think I might have brought that up on Thursday night. I'm not too sure, but you had this little double top formation play out. You really kind of broke under this 476 level on SPY after topping out around 479 twice. You retested it, tried to break back above it, and then you closed the final hour of 2021 with a bearish engulfing candle and your lowest hourly close, I think since December 27th. So again, these are all low time frames. On the daily, this kind of looks like nothing, but if you cannot reclaim, and again, your futures are up 0.5%. If you gap up, you're pretty much gapping up to back above support, and then maybe you have support just under you at the open. But if you can't gap up like 0.5% and you're gapping, or you're opening below 475.7, Then you don't have a lot of support down until about 473.5, which is your previous all-time high from November. So chart these levels on your 1 hour charts. That's pretty much what I'm watching like short term tomorrow. 476 as a support or resistance, 479 as a resistance, and then 473.5 as a support. Even more so if we go over to the daily. I think really, if we do continue to pull back early in the week, I do think that anywhere within this blue box would be a nice area. You could see you have your actual previous all-time high, but then you actually have like a much more well-rounded out or well-formed resistance around 470.8. So really anywhere within this blue box, I would like to see a back test of flipping what was your resistance from November till the end of the year into a support and then going even higher. So that's what I'm looking at. If you can't hold that blue box and you do pull back, then you got a gap fill around 467.76 for this SPY. You did have that bearish engulfing candle on Thursday and fall through price action on Friday. If we go to the weekly chart, you did have your highest close of all time last week. We can look at the weekly chart for the QQQ as well. Let's take these fibs out. And I don't know, not the best looking candle with that large upper wick, but you did kind of close above your previous resistance of the month prior to that. So if we look at the QQQ index right over here, I don't know, it's kind of filling this gap over here if you're just going by candle closes, but I would really like the QQQ to get back above 401. To be honest, I was hoping that that would really hold. You know, it made a nice little move over here, had a nice little back test of this resistance, broke out this bull flag, made a nice move. I think this was Thursday morning, and then it just kind of sold off like all of Friday. So I don't know, getting back above 398 could be a good start, but if you can't, then maybe use Fibonacci for supports on the QQQ for all of you large cap tech traders. I don't know, no bearish divergence or anything for right now, and that's really it for that. For small cap traders, here's your Russell 2000. So obviously I was talking about how insanely bullish I was at this low, and then we just had a 7% rally, pretty much an 8% rally. I think it's exactly an 8% rally. Yeah, exactly an 8% rally in about 2 weeks for the Russell 2000. And now you're just kind of showing a little bit of resistance exactly where I said for the past week that you would be finding resistance. You could see this trend line, you could see the 200-day moving average. It makes sense why you're seeing resistance here. So now we see, can we eventually break above this week and go fill the gap at 228? Or do we reject this and maybe retest 220, and if that doesn't hold, maybe even backtest the breakout? Who knows? But really the Russell's just in a make or break area. It just takes a little bit of time to get confirmation. Last January, let's go back in time, was a very, very good month. Let's see how much the Russell did last January. So for small caps, 1 second. From your open of, this is January, okay. So from your open of the month to your high of the month, you had about a 10% move higher last January. And then you ended up pulling back, I think, towards the end of the month, if I'm reading this correctly. But then in February, again, you went even higher. So from the January open of 2021 to the high of February, you went up 17%. Before finding this range for pretty much the rest of the year, while large caps went higher, but small caps, a lot of them just sold off to all-time lows rather than going sideways. There's only a few that kind of held this up in this little range, but you did have this bearish engulfing candle on the monthly in December. However, you really rejected this 209 area as as a new price, and you were able to fly right off of it, which we saw over here. So yeah, that's your Russell 2000 going into the week. The NASDAQ kind of looks just like the QQQ, so we don't really have to go over that too much. The ARK ETF, we're watching this symmetrical triangle. Obviously, we had that kind of dragonish pattern. It led to this little bounce over here. Now you're kind of just consolidating. So just watch to see which way this ARK ETF breaks out of this triangle. That's probably the main focus I'll be looking at. If my mic is too loud, let me know, because it's kind of like redlining a little bit, but just let me know in the chat if it's fine or not. So that's really it for the overall market. I mean, apart from the indices, we can look at the VIX. It's chilling around 17 right now. Nothing much to really update on that. The US 10-year has broken above the 200-day moving average. We'll see if we can hold above it. Gold is going higher and higher. If you were watching the streams, I was telling you how good that gold looked over here from a technical standpoint, and it's pulling out. You had your wedge back test, a hidden bullish divergence. Let's see if it broke out on the weekly. It's testing a breakout on the weekly of this supply line as well. So interesting stuff there. The Hang Seng Index, we talked about this breakout. It might be back testing the breakout right now. You even have a gap to fill at 23,258. But obviously, keep watching the news with all these Chinese stocks. The dollar broke down from the ascending triangle. Next support is around 94.57, but you could eventually develop or you are developing hidden bullish divergence, which could eventually confirm. So yeah, I mean, the Dow Jones retesting previous all-time highs. The Russell Growth ETF kind of looks just like the Russell 2000. ARC Genomic Revolution kind of going sideways. That's really it for the overall market. Nothing too crazy going into this year. I mean, we could just look back at the charts. Let's go over to the weekly. You can kind of see that for the majority of the year, the Russell did slightly go higher and higher, and it eventually put in an all-time high around November, but it really did underperform, say, the QQQ, which just went really, really higher and higher, and the same thing for the SPY. So you really did have, from pretty much the second half of February to the end of the year, the Russell just underperformed. A lot of these small caps are still, even with the Russell bouncing over the last couple of weeks, a lot of these small caps are still just selling off and selling off. So we're just getting to a point, in my opinion, where a lot of the stocks that were part of just a speculation bubble in the middle of February 2021, EVs, pot stocks, meme stocks, you know, a good amount of them, they just weren't valued at the right price back then, and that's pretty obvious looking at where they are now, and maybe a lot of them are now undervalued. So going into the first couple of months, or at least just first quarter, I'm still keeping a very close eye on a lot of these stocks that are oversold while the S&P has all-time highs, but you have to be careful, right? You don't want to be thinking just because the stock is oversold, it's going to go right back up. Some stocks can stay oversold for a long time, and even, you know, they could start bouncing and then have a dead cat bounce, make a lower high, and then sell off again. So really what I'm looking for, especially in the first quarter of this year, is mid cap, maybe even a few small cap companies that sold off a lot and their companies just didn't really change at all. I think there are a lot of them that, you know, last February, just they shouldn't have been where they were. They were just a part of everything kind of rising together. And now you're kind of at the complete opposite, where I think a lot of these stocks shouldn't be where they are this low, but that doesn't mean everything, right? There were stocks that were small caps, mid caps in February that continued to go up throughout the year. There will be stocks right now that will continue to go down this year. So it's not going to be an everything move, if there is a move at all, but that's really probably the largest opportunity I see. I think a lot of these large caps, I mean, Apple just ran, Tesla's been running, Microsoft's been running. A lot of these large caps have been running, right? At some point, they're going to give off, you know, their highs, and that's probably going to be it for a little bit. I think a lot of them still look pretty decent on low time frames. But, you know, maybe later on in the year when we have rate hikes, you might see some of these, even though a lot of these larger caps, you know, tend to be a little bit more defensive. But I think there still is probably the largest area of the market I personally see opportunity is still these stocks. And I'm not saying anything different. I've been saying this for probably over a month at this point. But yeah, like I said in the beginning of the stream, it's a new year, but it's the same thing. The market's still the same for the most part, and we're just kind of continuing on from where we were last Friday. So that's how I'm looking at it. Apart from the market and what else, you know, all right, apart from the market, let's talk about some individual names. Let's start off with Roblox. Let's go on the daily. The main reason I'm looking at this is really interesting from a technical standpoint, but I saw Mitch Ray talking about it on his stream tonight. I saw True Trading Group talking about it on their stream tonight. I think Nancy Pelosi, let me just confirm this 1 second. Nancy Pelosi scoops up call options for Google, Disney, and Roblox. All right, so Nancy Pelosi's getting into calls, and we all saw all the memes from that last year in her trades. So just a lot of options activity and just a lot of people starting to talk about Roblox. A lot of different, you know, people I watch. And it's an interesting chart on the daily. I saw Mitch Ray break it down on his stream. He was showing this dragon pattern. And you could see it's kind of using this blue zone as a nice level of support. You even have hidden bullish divergence. So Roblox is going to be one of the first stocks I keep an eye on at the start of this week. If it can break this supply line, you've already double bottomed off of this support zone with hidden bullish divergence. So you have call buyers, a lot of them. It was up a few percent on Friday when the market was red. I think Roblox could maybe, you know, put in a nice move here if it can confirm this breakout. So these are probably two levels I'll be watching, 111 and 126. 126 is this high, 111 is this low, and this close pretty much. So Roblox, we'll talk. That's the first one I'm going to talk about tonight. Just some tickers I want to bring up. Tesla, fortunately, it did have a bearish engulfing candle on Friday, and it did kind of give up this 1063 level, which you can see is kind of these lows over here in this high. But today, Tesla reported record deliveries for the fourth quarter, as well as the full year of 2021. Their fourth quarter deliveries was over 300,000 units, exceeding the street consensus of around 266K. units. So they had a nice little news report there. I don't think it was like their official earnings, but they just decided to share that with all of us. So 20,000 ahead of, I don't know who that is, maybe an analyst or something. And we have an analyst calling this a trophy case quarter. I saw this headline all over Twitter. So Tesla this week, let's go down to even lower time frames. It's kind of in this descending broadening wedge. It has the potential for hidden bullish divergence, but it's still just kind of selling off. So, you know, Tesla can put in a higher low, reclaim 1063, and then break out. I think that could give it a nice move. Maybe even a gap up could help it out if that news allows it to gap up tomorrow morning. So that's Tesla. I already have a bunch of different levels charted out. You can actually see it's pretty cool here. This 1167 level, which is your highs from over here, is your 786 as well. And then this 886 retrace is your high from over here as well. So you have some nice fib confluence there with your resistances. And then the big level I see is 1063. I really would like to see Tesla reclaim that because you have lows over here, a high over here. I would just like to see it above that, not below it. All right. So that's Tesla. AMD, I'd like to see this reclaim the neckline. It kind of gave up that neckline later in the week. So a lot of these large cap stocks this week, I think I'd like to see them bounce before I even got excited about them because a lot of them kind of broke under supports on Friday. So maybe, I don't know, if we gap up tomorrow, it'll be interesting to see if we can break back above these important levels that were given up on Thursday and Friday. So Nvidia, I'd say 1091 or 291 is the support I see over here, kind of back testing the breakout of this falling wedge, potential hidden bullish divergence. Still, I know a lot of people are still very, very bullish on chips this year with the whole entire shortage and whatnot. What else? Google, Nancy Pelosi bought some Google calls as well. I kind of just see this as maybe a little bit of a channel. I think I actually have a triangle charted, yeah, on the 1 hour. So maybe I'll see which way Google already have alerts set up to whichever way Google breaks this triangle. And then Amazon is sitting at the demand line of a falling wedge of an ascending triangle on the daily with potential hidden bullish divergence. If Amazon could bounce like literally tomorrow, that'd be amazing because you're actually at your demand line. You have 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches, and then like literally 4 or 5 days in a row, you were just bouncing right off of this. So I would like to see Amazon bounce off of this and maybe start continuing the development of that hidden bullish divergence. Could even chart a supply line right here. So those are some stocks that I'm keeping an eye on. Let me see if I could bring up one from the premium watch list. Let me see what's a good one that I can bring up on the stream. Watch list. Let me make this a little bit bigger. What's a good one? I already showed you Amazon, which was one of them. I'm gonna show you all one more. I don't know about that one. Maybe this one. All right, that's okay. So this is another one I found scanning today. I was actually scanning on FinViz. I was also scanning on TradyTix, but FinViz, this ticker is FINV. I'm like, wait, does FinViz have a stock? And no, it's a Finvolution group. But you've got some, if you ignore all these little MACD islands over here and just focus on the larger ones, you've got some confirmed classic bullish divergence. You're sitting at the demand line of this wedge and also at this 469 level. I think it was, it was resistance in June of 2019, kind of your support in February of 2021. It was your support again. And if you really zoom in here, you're pretty close to a tweezer bottom over here, and it's just trying to take out this little $5 resistance it's been testing for the past 2 weeks. So FINV, I think this also has a high short float. Let me confirm that for you all. So no, this is not the one. All right, I charted a couple of them that had higher short floats. This was not one of them. I think it says 4%. So yeah, those were some featured tickers. Now I'm going to go over the ongoing swings. Just let's take a look. Before we go over the charts of the ongoing swings, let's take a look at how we did in 2021. And here you go. All right, so if you were to add up all of the targets that hit, and actually let me reiterate this one really quickly. It's from week 5 to week 60 on the sheet. This might have included a little bit of Q4 2020. So it might have not just been 2021 January to December. It might have included a little bit of like November and December of 2020. So I want to be honest about that. But if you were to add up from week 5, and the reason I started with week 5 is because 1, 2, 3, and 4, I didn't really put targets or stops. It was just like percent return. And I think it was just winning trades. And then week 5 is when I started putting like actual targets and stops. So we started at week 5, and then week 60 was last week on the sheet. If you were to add up all the targets, that's 3,500 roughly, 3,500% roughly. If you add up all of the stops that hit, that's around 1,700%, which takes you to an estimated overall P&L of 1,850 or 1,850%. That's, you know, it's not, I'm not trying to act like this is super real. It's just adding up all the targets and stops. It obviously depends on position sizing and whatnot. And one cool thing that I did see was, you know, it kind of more stops were hit over here in last year. But you could see that the gains were so much larger than the losses. That just goes to show you how important reward to risk is. And, you know, my trades, since they are based around the 3-to-1 reward to risk, which I learned from Mitch Ray, it's technically 3 times harder for one of my trades to hit a target than a stop, because the stop is typically 3 times closer to the entry than the target. But when those targets hit, it lets you get a much larger percent gain. If you've been around in the stream for a while, you've heard me say this a lot of times, but just in case there's anybody new here. So win rate's obviously important. But in my opinion, if you know how to manage your risk and put yourself in favorable positions, you could be very, very profitable. And safe to say that this was a very good return last year. And then for premium options, so if you are a premium member, what's it called? It's this. I only started tracking results on the premium options like a few months ago, and any premium member who's been around since the start can attest to this. Like, options have been pretty much always good in premium. Again, that's not a promise. I can't say that past results will always indicate the future, but I think options were kind of the highlight of 2021 in terms of things that I was looking, or trades that I was looking at and whatnot. But just the last few months, the total sum of potential returns is 8,423%. You know, that is helped out by 1,000% return on Fisker and I think 5,000 on MU. But even if you take out 6,000 from this, that's still 2,400%. So yeah, really, really good stuff there. This was last year. Thank you all for all the support last year. I mean, we got like, I think 3,000 new subs last year, probably 7,000 or 8,000 on Twitter, 2,000 Discord members. It's always good to look back every once in a while and just see how much, you know, all of us have progressed in the past year, and hopefully we can do it again. So yeah, so these are your ongoing swings going into this week. Let me go all the way to the end. This is how the sheet looks at the start of the week. I obviously took out the ones that hit targets, were break evens, or hit stops last week. And this is what we've got. So we currently have 27 ongoing swings. Probably about half of them are in premium. And now we're going to go over the charts of the non-premium swings. Okay. All right. So Mara, this already hit the first target. Bearish engulfing candle on Friday is pretty much right at the demand line. So hopefully it can bounce off its demand line. Regardless, it already hit that first target. Unity, new swing, bearish engulf, a lot of bearish engulfing candles on Friday, unfortunately, but you're still holding above this 142 level, which was resistance in September and support in November of last year. So hopefully it can just hold this 142 at the close. That's really it. SPLK, Splunk is still around the entry, really hasn't changed much technically since it was alerted. Upstart is up 4% since the entry. It already broke out of the descending broadening wedge after bouncing at the PCZ of a shark. A little bit of short-term resistance around 163. If it breaks that, could head up to that first target at 181. Fisker, what's going on here? It's been spending the past few days right around the stop, but it's never closed at or under the stop. Hidden bullish divergence still developing. And I sent a message in the Swing Updates channel in the Discord to keep an eye on Fisker, okay? You have that daily hidden bullish divergence developing. You're at the PCZ, and I just actually charted this harmonic, I think, on Friday. I don't even think I noticed it for a while. But you're sitting at the PCZ of this, how was I even looking at this? It's kind of like a mix of a bat, because of that around a 50% retrace on B, and a Gartley, so I guess another Bartley. It's not an official or a real harmonic, but you got around a 50% retrace from X to B and around a 786 from X to D. Just interesting that's finding support at this 82% retrace. Still testing 200-day moving average, but hidden bullish divergence on the daily, potential classic bullish divergence on the 4-hour, and you're getting towards the apex of this falling wedge as well. So keeping a close eye on Fisker. Open is kind of in this symmetrical triangle. A lot of mid caps look just like this because they're all just kind of moving together. You could see that in the ARK ETF, which we talked about earlier. So open, this one's pretty much almost to the cent still at the entry. Alternate bat, hopefully it can just hold above 1367. Palantir is pretty much around the entry as well. I'd like to see Palantir get above and hold above 19. It's just been in this range between $17.90 and $19 for like 2 weeks now. I just want to see it hold above 19 before breaking under 17 with confirmation. BYND down a little bit since the entry. It's a weekly chart. There's not much to update on it from a technical standpoint. Currently, you have classic bullish divergence developing. Hopefully, you can just hold 62. GameStop is around the entry as well. So again, even if you weren't around for the past few weeks, a lot of these swings, they went up for a little bit. Now they're kind of pulling back a little bit. A lot of them are still around their entry areas. GameStop, same thing. You got a little bit of resistance around 160, a little bit of support around 140. We'll see which way it can break first. Wix, this is in profit currently. Yeah, this like little scuffed inverse head and shoulders I charted last week, but it's up 12% since the entry. It's above the inflection zone, already bounced twice around the 786. Hopefully this week could be the week where it breaks out of this supply line of this falling wedge and maybe makes a nice move. COVID cases are absolutely skyrocketing. I mean, it's actually insane. We could take a look here. So COVID cases, I mean, this is what your COVID crash looked like, right? March and April of 2020. This is what it looked like. I don't even know. Again, please fact check this yourself. I'm not like don't use me as a news source, okay? And then this was last winter, and this is where we are now. Like, it's insane. But the large difference here is that I think the death rate is much lower with this Omicron variant. So, a lot of people are bringing up the point that this could be where, it turns, from like a dangerous disease or whatever into more of just like a common thing. But again, I'm not a scientist. I don't know too much about any of this. I'm just bringing it up because we're talking about stocks, and we've obviously seen COVID affect the market. Whatever your beliefs are is your beliefs. I don't really care what you think. But all of us can agree that COVID news in general has affected the market over the past couple of years. So got to keep an eye on it. So continuing, and the reason I brought that up is because we were looking at Wix. I don't know, it's like a website stock. I think you can create websites on it. So things like Wix, Zoom, stay-at-home stuff. I don't know. I'm not the best with that stuff. SU, nice bullish engulfing candle on Friday. Broke out of the handle. Hidden bullish divergence is confirmed. Hopefully this can break above 26 at some point, and then VLO is up 1%. This swing is up 6%. This is probably the oldest swing that's currently on the sheet right now. It's probably been like over a month. So hopefully it can just get up to 79 and hit that first target. So that's really it for the ongoing swings. Let me read the chat for a second here. My tea has definitely gotten cold. Ow, okay. Volume should return this week. Yeah, historically it should. IWM could be a potential inverse head and shoulders. Yeah, if it were to sell off down towards 212, 213, and then run back up to break this trend line, if it were to do something like this, then yeah, it could be a potential inverse head and shoulders. The thing is, you have to know when her husband got in Roblox. That tells a lot. She herself doesn't own any stocks. See, I'm not 100% familiar with the situation. Yeah, we just talked about the Amazon Ascending Triangle. What's up, KTF? Happy New Year. Got some bots in the chat. Better Free says retail has accounted for over 25% of options in 2021, buying most of the basic options. I was watching somebody's video on YouTube the other day, and last year's like overall options, like the amount of contracts traded was like actually insane. It was like multiples higher than what it was in the dot-com bubble, and obviously we now have retail brokerages online and anybody can create an account within like an hour and start trading with instant deposits. So it's just really crazy to see how the options market is just growing and growing and growing. It's kind of a little bit scary, honestly, how much money that people are trading in these contracts. I mean, leverage can be dangerous, but at the same time, it does allow for the market to work in the way that it does. So I don't know. Henrik just tweeted 24K reservations roughly. I know you typed in 23.6K. Yeah, and then he also was sharing a bunch of videos of the Fisker Ocean in action last week, and it's 2022. This is the year that the Fisker Ocean is out. So towards the end of the year, we're going to have that production starting, and I don't know when the deliveries are, if they're like December this year or the beginning of next year. I'm not sure, but official release for the Ocean is expected to be at the end of this year, which is awesome. I honestly want to design an Ocean on stream towards the end of the year. like, you know, based on what I like. I've already like tried out the Ocean Builder website right now. It's pretty cool. So yeah, we got 30 people in here. Hit the like button if you didn't already. Hit the subscribe button. We're looking forward to a good year in the market. What else is there to say? Join the Discord. I just spent like an hour making a new banner and profile picture for the Discord. Even updated my own profile picture on Twitter and YouTube and Discord. Join the Discord. Everything is in the Discord. If you want to be in the free trading movement, the FTM, nobody's stopping you. It's free to join. All you have to do is join the Discord. That's where we are all week when I'm not streaming. So all of us are chatting and talking about what we see in the market and charts and news and crypto and scanners and free bots that are actually paid bots and music rooms. Like everything is there. Links in the description. Watch the free course. I mean, there's really no better time than now to watch the course. Okay, spend 3, 4, 5, 6 hours watching the course. That link is in the description. It's completely free. Always put yourself in a position where you're learning more than other people. That's how you win in this market. Okay, Mike from True Trading Group always has this quote, and it's something along the lines of, you know, if you were to go and box the best boxer in the world with no experience, do you think you would win? Absolutely not. You'd probably end up in the hospital, right? He says something along those lines. So you really shouldn't be expecting to walk into the stock market, you know, going up against people that have traded for 30, 40 years and institutions and market makers and think that you're going to beat them if you're just showing up every morning, going on Twitter and following some random person. Don't expect to be a good trader if you're not going to put an effort to learn. You really shouldn't. Honestly, you should be a bad trader if you're not trying to be a good trader. And that's really obvious and probably cliche, but I just know it's just really obvious to me that I feel like a lot of people last year, they got in with all of the squeezes and they held and they held and they held, and now they probably lost more money than they put in. So you need to start putting yourself in a situation where you're working not only just as hard as professionals, but harder than professionals if you want to be a successful trader, because most traders are not successful. Okay. The only ones that are successful are the ones that spend time scanning every single day, watching courses, reading books. Gotta do it, okay? For anybody who put education on the back burner last year, you need to start off this year with learning something new every single day in the market. That's the only piece of financial advice I'll ever give you. Learn, okay? This is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. My financial advice to you is learn, okay? Learn. Read books. Watch courses, obviously fact check whatever you're using for information, and just work on being a better trader every single day. Don't try and turn into the best trader in the world tomorrow. You can be the best trader in the world, but you have to give yourself time and you have to put in the work, all right? With all that being said, Cheddar Free says, should never have expectations in the market and always be working on your edge. And yeah, manage risk. Nothing is a certainty unless you're trading illegally. So you have to act like that. You have to understand that things might not go your way, and you have to be prepared to lose in a good way, not to lose with blowing up your account. All right. You're going to have wins. You're going to have losses. All that matters is you win more than you lose, whether if that's by win rate % or if that's by reward to risk. Put yourself in a position where you can be a profitable trader. Okay. If anybody wants me to look at a chart for them, drop it in the chat. It could be a stock, a crypto, a currency. I don't know. Don't request any IPOs from the last month. I need data on a chart to analyze charts. Believe it or not, don't request any OTCs. I'm kind of not really in that world. Nothing I say is financial advice. Drop it in the chat if you want me to take a look at any tickers. And yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get to 30 likes real quick. We got 30 people in here, so no reason why we shouldn't be at 30 likes. All right. Okay, we're gonna start off with KOS. KOS. All right. So if we're looking at this from the daily view, there's two different ways you could look at this, honestly. You know, maybe you just look at this as a wedge. Of course, if you want to call it a cup and handle, go for it. Kind of an upsloping neckline though. But we're just gonna look at this as a wedge on the daily. You have classic bullish divergence potentially confirming soon if you can start bouncing here. You perfectly bounced off the 200-day moving average on this candle with a bullish pin bar. But if we go over to the weekly, you kind of see this inverse head and shoulders here a little bit. You got potential inverse head and shoulders on your weekly chart. All right, so really, you could chart that neckline however you want to. I mean, it's going to be pretty tough to break this neckline, but maybe you go with candle bodies and then chart it more like this, however you want to do it. All right, but 446 is a resistance. You got a gap fill around $5, $7 resistance. There you go. AEHR on the weekly, this just went up a lot. It went up over 1,000%. Lost half of its value. Now it's running again. So you have potential hidden bullish divergence here on the weekly. On the daily, not really. Got this rounding action over here. Obviously resistance at your previous all-time high, and I'd say support around 1870. RNW, the guy says descending or falling something, but curious if you can see anything else. So I kind of just view this as a falling wedge here. I'd probably chart it like this. And you've got a little bit of classic bullish divergence. Okay, if you ever get confused by any of these terms that I'm bringing up on stream, I have a free course. It's in the description. Go watch it. And these are pretty much the levels that I see. So there you go. CAN, I'd like to see us reclaim 550. It's not too hard for it to do that, but it's very important for it to do that. That's your support. You broke under it, but now you're trying to double bottom. You kind of bottomed around 480-ish twice now. I think what you'd want to do is break above 550 before breaking under the support you're trying to confirm. And that's probably what I'd focus on for right now. Once you do that, then you can start looking at the larger levels, but you've got to do that first. If you can't hold that, then 429 is the next support I see, from this low over here and these lows over here as well, and kind of this high as well. All right, that's CAN. Any other charts you want me to look at, drop it in the chat. Back in the day, there would just be like too many charts for me to look at in the chat. There'd be like 30 to 40 a night. Now there's like 4. So I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Let's see what futures are at now. Still up around 0.4% across the board. Bitcoin's testing 47K. ETH is testing $3,800. All right, so how far are we into the stream right now? About 40 minutes. So GD Trading is asking about a harmonic that started in early August. Early August. This is where I see August. I probably wouldn't use that as my X point, but let's take a look at it like this. Might be a shark. Pretty much a shark over here. And you've now made 3 consecutive lows, 2 of them being a higher low than the previous one, which is good. I'd like to see this hold above 0.01710. You can see it over here. I like for it to hold above this. It was your low here, your low here, your resistance here, your low here, your low here. That's the important level I see. And maybe you could draw like a supply line, which you already broke out of. So horizontal resistance, you've got some at that number, some at this number, and some around over there. Those are just rough levels, all right? But beware, if you can't keep going and that MACD crosses over to red, then you would have hidden bearish divergence on the MACD. There we go. Now we've got some more to look at. JMIA says Maxime. I know Print would ask a lot about that back in the day. It made a crazy run in like November, December 2020, maybe January 2021. For anybody who remembers that, I like day traded it like the day before it started running like crazy, and I would have held those shares. Would have been really nice. All right, Boeing, kind of a dragon. It looks like the Russell 2000, honestly, kind of like a dragon here. Now it's testing our previous resistance or support as a resistance. Make a break area. If it can't break it, could run back down and retest this support. If it can break it, could run up to test this resistance. All right, potential hidden bearish divergence if the MACD crosses to red before it goes above 213. any. I could probably rechart this or just maybe clean it up a little bit. So I don't know. Let's see if this could be a harmonic. I think that's just going to be way too high up here. Not really an official harmonic. I think the important zone was between 350 and 390, which unfortunately it broke under. I think the next major support I see is around 234 from these lows in 2019. Kind of a resistance here and maybe a support here as well. You could probably chart a supply line though, something like this, where it might be testing a break out of the supply line. So if you were to break the supply line, and if this was to be your bottom with the bullish engulfing candle over here, then you certainly want to have enough pressure to break above this inflection zone and then maybe back test the support. If you can't do that, then you could maybe just wedge down until those lower levels. So that's ANY. Twitter. 44.59 is the important level to break above. You can see it's been finding resistance here for the past like 2 weeks. It was once a support back in January of last year. Now it's resistance, so you just want to break above that. Maybe a little bit of a demand line here you could draw. Already broke out of a wedge though. I think there's a 4-hour classic bullish divergence over here. Just needs to break above that $45 level pretty much. JMIA. It's testing pretty important level. It's pretty much it's a little bit below it, but it's testing this low from November of last year and August of 2019. If it can break above it, there's not much resistance up till 17. It's kind of like straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up. So if you can just hold it, maybe just hold above this low at $10, you could start making a run back up. If you can't, then $10 is your support. That's your lows from September 2019 and just recently in December of last year. CLNE, probably draw a demand line like this. Maybe it's starting to form a wedge here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 touches. Maybe a little bit of support around 520-ish. Just gonna chart all the levels out right now. All right, so those are the levels I kind of see here. Those are all your levels. That's your pattern. Not much divergence. I don't know if this is a 618, but we'll see. Pretty much is. Not really adding any PCCs right now. PRLB. Look at this. You see this 89 level that was support over here? It was resistance over here. You gotta start zooming out and looking left on your charts. Alright, so those are all of your levels on PRLB. There you go. Those are your levels. Not much of a pattern. There might be a crazy big harmonic or something, but I wouldn't really focus on that right now. I'd start focusing on your overall trend. Alright, Activision and Affirm. Keep hitting the like button. Thank you for the 30 likes. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Join the Discord, links in the description. So Activision, this is a premium alert. It just recently hit the first target for a 12% gain. The second target I put was 72, which is pretty much the entry to this gap, but it's also your lows from September. Kind of a little bit of an area here as well. So next resistance I see is around 72. It's kind of testing the 66 level, which was like the first target, which is a low from right over here, and resistance back in 2017. So it's at a make or break area. You even have a gap fill, which is the third target at $77. But the area for technical entry was in these areas, which is when I alerted it to premium members. You just got this massive, massive shark over here playing out very nicely. So that's Activision. Affirm. Let's clear up this chart. There's your supply line. You've already broken out of it. So you pretty much just broke out of a downsloping channel. Let's say it's an important level to hold above this little zone over here, $90 to $94. All right, so those are your levels that I see. Those are all the levels. You just broke out of a wedge. You MACD crossed the green. This is the time to go if there is any time to go. If it doesn't go here, then you see your next supports. PD, daily ascending triangle and downtrend, is it bullish or bearish? We'll take a look. So an ascending triangle and a downtrend, it depends. All right, so in this scenario, well, you had this upsloping channel, you broke down, and I see exactly what you're saying here. I probably look at it more as like a triangle than, I mean, you've said ascending triangle. I look at it as a little bit more symmetrical. I think, I don't know, maybe if it had a little bit more perfect highs around over here. But you can kind of chart, you know, this wick, and this wick, and you have a slightly downsloping supply line. So it just more looks like a regular symmetric. It's not symmetrical, but it's close. I'm being kind of very, very picky here. You could even, it could even be argued that you are right. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying my preference. So I don't know, if it were to be a little bit more like this, then it would be called a bear flag if it looked something like that, which again, a lot of different scenarios could be argued. I think what's important here is that you stay above the demand line. Okay, that's probably the thing that's very strict here. You're pretty much, you close that on Friday. If you break down, then your next support's $32 pretty much. All right. The obvious breakout point is not only your supply line, but 37.62. A break above that could send you to test $43, maybe even the 200-day moving average at $40. So that's probably how I would view it. But you could argue a couple different things here. SE, so this is C Limited. Already broke out of its supply line. Just another stock breaking out of a downsloping channel, but hasn't really had a fall through price action yet. I think 212 is the important level to stay above. It's the high from December of 2020. And those are your levels. All right, that is SE. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for tonight. I don't know. Is there more charts to look at? I could stick around. Still got 35 people in here. Hit the like button if you didn't already. Hit the subscribe button. I'm tired. CLOV. Did I think I might have missed CLOV when I was, oh yeah, we did miss CLOV. I was looking at the weekly trade sheet and I forgot to look at CLOV. Well, potential hidden bearish divergence on the daily MACD if you cross over to red. However, a little bit of conflicting variables here. You've also got potential triple classic bullish divergence on the RSI. So conflicting variables on your oscillators on the daily, putting a new all-time low last week. 4 hour, I just kind of viewed as this falling wedge. Same thing with that hidden bearish divergence potentially on the 4 hour. But also the same thing with the potential classic bullish divergence on the RSI. So kind of your MACD is a little bit bearish right now, but your RSI is bullish. We'll go down to the 1 hour and see, but this is probably the main thing I'll be watching. This 4 hour wedge has pretty much been the wedge you've been in since your gap down to a new all-time low. So yeah, that's kind of how I see it right now. Honestly, it's getting towards the apex of this wedge, but I would like some sort of an edge just apart from that wedge. And then I kind of still see it as like this descending broadening wedge on the 1 hour. So that's how I see CLOV. Can't believe I missed that earlier, but honestly, nothing has really changed too much. So futures, they're still up about 0.4%. Bitcoin slightly under 47K now. Remember, join the Discord. Okay, I'll show you all what it looks like really quickly. Guess we have any new people in here. Start off 2022 right. Okay, start it off right. All right, so when you join it, you're gonna have to go to the verification channel, click on both of these buttons to get your roles. All right, in the Discord. You're gonna have the announcements channel. This is where I share announcements, but also the weekly sheet at close. There we go, Rocky. Welcome to the FTM. Make sure you join the Discord. Thank you for subscription. Well, this is where I share the weekly sheet of how all the swings are doing and just a bunch of other stuff. Chatter Freeze also shares some stuff here like earnings. You got YouTube alerts so you can know every single time, not only when I'm live like tonight, but also when the timestamps are up from each stream. Shout out to Mehdi for doing those. Swing alerts. This is my swing trade setup alerts. Of course, not financial advice. They all have target stops and entry, but those are just how I'm viewing the chart levels. It's not telling you to buy or sell anything. You do whatever you want with your own money, okay? This is where I give updates apart from my updates on stream. Crypto alerts, not super active here, but every once in a while when I see cryptos lining up, I share alerts there. Analyst ideas. It's not real analysts, but they're Discord analysts. Watch list scanner. You can get watch lists and just, Med, you need to start doing watch lists again. Come on. But the Lump has been doing a good job of sharing his divergence scanner settings. You always hear me talk about bullish and bearish divergence. Imagine if somebody was providing you a list of stocks like pretty much every single week that had bullish divergence. Well, the Lump is, okay? There's obviously everything in premium. If you're interested in that, that's the first link in the description. And there's a video on the sign up page that explains all of these channels, but I'm not going to do it right now. But there's cool stuff here. Okay, this was like the watch list I sent today. If you really don't want to join, I guess screenshot all of them and zoom in. All right, if you really want to do that, go for it. But there's a lot of stuff here. Okay, shout out to TradeTix. This is a cool bot we got here. But trading chat, social chat, technical trades, fundamental trades, options trades, memes, testimonials, crypto stuff. And then look at all this, all of these educational resources here. I was just telling you earlier in the stream that you need to start focusing on learning. Well, we have a lot of educational resources for you. Shout out to Lord Bogendorf, also rest in peace, Bogendorf. Not this one in the Discord, but one of the real ones. I think there's 2 brothers. But all of this here, all of that education. This is just all about like all these different indicators. I'm still scrolling, by the way. I mean, look how much stuff is here. Okay. Then there's also terms. If you ever hear terms that you were more interested in, it's in alphabetical order. Okay. Look at all that education. If you ever have any questions about charts or whatnot, you could ask them over here. If you want to play some fun little mini games, you could do that here. You could also win some prizes, news. Okay. I really want to talk about this. People, start using this. All right. The amount of like information you have with this bot is insane. Okay, start using this bot. I think you get like, let me try it. I'm just gonna copy what Chatter wrote here. I don't really know how many message or how do you even pronounce the word queries? Can't even pronounce it. So 6 or 7 a week. All of that. You want options flow? Well, we've got it. All right. Shout out to TradeTix for providing all this to the Discord for free. Another bot over here that has an insane amount of stuff. Look at all of that. Actually, I'm going to show you this one. Look at all of that. There's even a link over here. So yeah, join the Discord. Okay, the link's in the description. We've been kind of stuck at 2050 for like months now, probably like 4 or 5 months. We had like this like non-stop rise, and we just been going sideways. It kind of looks like this chart, honestly. Kind of looks like this. Kind of looks like Amazon. That's kind of what the Discord growth looks like. It was like non-stop, and then we just entered this period of going sideways. So help us bounce off the demand line for the FTM Discord and break out of our ascending triangle. Okay. What's up, Rocky? Frank says thank you for your time, bro. Thank you for watching the stream and supporting what I'm doing. What happened to Medi's small account challenge? Yeah, I think he does post it on Twitter. I try and shout out his Twitter as much as I can. So yeah, I mean, what else do we talk about there? That's Discord. I need to make sure all of you are in it for this year. There's going to be a lot of different changes coming soon. So yeah. Also the stream, I might have to start cutting back from 4 nights. How many do? No, we do 5 nights a week. The stream might change to like, instead of 5 nights a week, it might be 3 nights a week. I just wanted to make sure you all know ahead of time. I'm not 100% sure yet, but within a few weeks, I'll let you know. So we might have a little bit of less stream time, unfortunately, probably up until about May, which is when my semester is over, but I'm going to be in a dorm room, so it's going to be a little bit tougher for me to stream every weeknight. But I'll try my best. I don't know. I might have my own room. I might not. I'm going to figure it out. But yeah, I'm still going to, you know, if I don't stream as much, I'll just try and substitute that with making like more videos like over the weekend and whatnot. So it'll still probably be like 5 uploads a week. It's just maybe 2 of the streams will turn into videos. I upload them like Saturday and Sunday or something. I don't know. But again, that's all up in the air for right now. But yeah. All right. So I think I'm going to get some sleep. I don't know. Get ready for tomorrow. I mean, this year I really think it's going to be crazy. January of last year was amazing. Hopefully this month could be even somewhat like January of last year was, because if you traded small caps and mid caps last January, it was a really fun time for the most part. We had, I think Lucid had its first like initial crazy run. Yeah, February, we had AMC, we had GameStop, all those meme stocks. I think even CLOV had a nice move from 13.20 to 17. Yeah, we actually swing traded. Yeah, that was the end of January. It was this move over here. What did Fisker do last January? Oh, we had the Wyckoff Fisker trade last January. This was amazing. It tested the patience of a lot of people. A lot of people's patience was tested here, but those who remained patient definitely paid off. So we'll see what this month has to bring. This is AMC. It obviously made this crazy move last January. Got some hidden bullish divergence developing over here on the weekly. Imagine AMC makes another run in January, just like last year. I mean, technicals kind of are there. You got that weekly bullish pin bar, hidden bullish divergence. You back tested a previous level. Look at that 2888 back test from this low, this high, and now this low. Really interesting stuff here. So yeah. TGT. I mean, we could keep going. If you all want to keep going, I'll keep going. You all know me. And change this song though. This one's a little bit tough to chart, to be honest with you. Maybe you draw like demand line like that. Like, I don't know. Technically, you could look at it as a right angle descending broadening wedge because you have 2 touches on your supply line or just your resistance, and then 3 on the demand line, kind of. And if you want to consider like these 2 to be the same island, you maybe call it classic, but honestly, I wouldn't. There's like 2 different islands here that kind of just ruin that. And then 200-day moving average is resistance, maybe in a supply line right here. So you're facing a little bit of resistance in this general area over here. Break above, then you got a gap fill at 262, and then hopefully maybe at some point it could maybe put in a partial decline and break out, but I don't know. So that's TGT. ROKU, we did not look at that. When is the next 1v1 call? 1v1. I don't know if you mean like one-on-one call. I'm not sure what you mean by that. My next one-on-one call though is tomorrow. I think I have 3 or 4 this week. Yeah, I have 2 scheduled for this week, maybe a 3rd one from the winner of the FTM simulator game. Depends on when we schedule that. I don't know if that's what you're asking, or if you're just asking for signups. They're closed for a while. I tried to say in the last time I opened up those one-on-one classes, probably like the beginning of December or something. I said we're not gonna be back for a while. One-on-one calls are probably not gonna be back until like, I'd say earliest is like March. I just really don't have time, unfortunately. So yeah. Something tells me the Wall Street bet meme stock rally is done. I didn't pay attention to earlier years, but has ever happened before. I think there were definitely a few squeezes. What was that stock? Oh my gosh. That had like that crazy squeeze like a decade ago or something. Anybody know what I'm talking about? When can we sign up again? It's gonna have to be like March. Unfortunately, I just don't know if I'm gonna have time in January or February. Maybe I'll do like a few of them or something, but whenever I do have time, I'll let you all know on the Discord and on my Twitter, so just make sure you're there. Wow, Volkswagen did go crazy last March, but I'm trying to see if there's like this other one. It might be another stock. I don't know if I'm missing. All right, I think this was it. I think this was like the crazy squeeze. Yeah, look at this on Volkswagen. Went from like under $10 to over, oh my gosh, over 100, like a 10x. But it did take some time. It took a few years. And this was all kind of happening like during the Great Recession. So it was kind of crazy. So, I mean, there was a bunch of different things. There was even, what was that? There was some sort of like Wall Street thing. I think also about like a decade ago. It was like some sort of protest. I don't know if like they were trading stocks and whatnot with it, but protest 2011. Occupy Wall Street was a protest movement against economic inequality and the influence of money in politics. So you had that, but I don't really know if that was like people trying to squeeze stocks and whatnot. I think it was just like an actual protest. I don't know. I was like 9 years old then, so. Did we look at ROKU? I don't think we did. It's testing the supply line of this dragon pattern over here. Break above, and then you don't have much resistance to like 265 to 270. All right. And then if you can't break above, you've got a little bit of support here short term at 222.6, and if that breaks, then 196. That's really it for ROKU right now. Yeah. Pretty much what I see. I think one other one. Rolls-Royce also had like a crazy move at one point. Now it's just turned into like a horrible stuff. I'm not gonna say horrible, like it's not gonna go up again. It'll probably go up at some point, but it's pretty much just been making lower lows and lower highs since 2013. But you could see over here, around the same time that Volkswagen was going crazy, even Rolls-Royce. I mean, this thing went up around 500%, but it took like 5 years. So yeah. Didn't Porsche buy a lot of their shares? I don't know. I'm not too familiar with what happened then. I've heard about it. Future still up about 0.4%. Snow, alright, so I think Snow will probably be the last one for tonight. If you didn't hit the like button yet, we need 3 more likes at 40 likes if you're not subscribed to the channel. Maybe try the subscribe button. Just see how you feel when you hit the subscribe button. Just see how you feel. If you feel good, stay subscribed. If you don't, it's all cool. You can unsubscribe. You know, just give it a shot. That's all I'm saying. You've got pretty much triple hidden bullish divergence developing here. A little bit of a separation between these two islands, but not much. And I probably just look at like a symmetrical triangle here. It's also in the middle of this range between 327 and 360. So this is pretty much how I view Snow right now. All right, that's what I've got. Pennant squeeze. I don't know about a squeeze. I don't know what the short interest is or if there's what the options chain looks like, but whichever way it breaks could be telling. Of course, you always need confirmation. Cup and handle. You could look at it as like a cup and handle as well. That could be another way to view it. All right, so that's going to be it for tonight. I'll be live again pretty much every single night this week at 9 p.m. EST. Maybe I'll go early like half an hour. Maybe I'll go live like half an hour early a couple nights. You never know. But to always make sure you're watching the stream on time, join the Discord. As long as you have a phone that can receive notifications and you enable your notifications for Discord, you join the Discord, download the app, and whenever I go live, you'll get a notification because with YouTube, you got to make sure you hit the notification bell, and then even if you do that, sometimes it doesn't work. So just be in the Discord. That way you can always know whenever I'm live. All right. So that's gonna be it for tonight. See you all tomorrow night. Good luck trading if you choose to trade on the first trading day of the year. Good luck overall this year. I hope you all have an amazing year in the market. And just remember, all right, there's one thing I want you to know going into this year. It's just one thing I want you to think about. Okay. No matter what, you always have to think about this and keep this in your mind. Pineapples do not belong on pizza. Have a good night, everybody.
Your life.